And so today we're going to talk a little bit more about defining big goals. So first of all, I believe that they are ambitious, that they should make you like wet your pants. You're so like, gosh, can I really achieve this? So if you can imagine something that is so big, such a big goal. Now, maybe your goal is to sell $10 million this year in real estate. Maybe your goal would be selling $20 million in real estate. Maybe your goal is to sell one listing this month. Whatever that goal is, I want you to think of it bigger, like double it. Is that even possible? The next thing you should do is think about when you tell somebody about your big goal, it's so big that they may even laugh at you. I mean, that sounds crazy, right? But I heard once from somebody that they would keep upping their goals and telling people until literally they got an actual audible laughter out of that person. When they got laughter out of them, they said, that's my goal, that's what I want to do. The next thing you want to do is have a big goal in every area of your life. So first of all, spiritual goal. Do you want to have a relationship with God? Do you want to be someone that considers themselves in touch with the universe? Whatever that is, have a big goal in that area. How are you going to strive forward every day to reach that goal? The next one is family goal. How much time do you want to spend with your family? How big do you want your family to be? Those are family goals, and you can actually apply those to your life, and those things change over time. Next is friends goal. I like to actually set a goal so that I spend a certain amount of quality time with my friends. I feel like the busier and busier we get as a society, we stop spending time with the people that we really like to be around. And I always say to my friends, friends are like the family you choose. So have a goal with your friends. How much time do you want to spend? Do you want to do a once a month outing? What does that look like? So let's talk about business goals. Business goals, that's probably the reason why you're here, right? You want to start this real estate company. You want to take your real estate career to the next level. So my point to you is that you need to have big business goals. But a business goal and a career goal might even be two separate things. Your business goal might be to own a real estate company or to have rental properties. Your career goal might be specifically, I want to sell so many units and homes this year. But you need a clear goal on what that is before we can finish the rest of these classes. Also, you need a health goal. Personally, I every day make a declaration to the world that I want to be healthy and happy, and I actually set very specific health goals for myself. I want to make sure that I'm actively exercising or training at least 3 times a week. I want to make sure that I'm eating a ketogenic diet every day, and to me that's what I found to be the most optimizing way for me to get my mind and my body right. And we're going to do a future class on getting your mind and body right as well. Finally, you want to get a financial goal set up. So to me, I want to retire from having to work in the next few years. I've got that very specific financial goal. And so all my businesses and my residential real estate practice, the companies I own, the rental properties, my wife's company, they're all going toward that same goal of making sure that that happens. That's my financial goal. So next we're going to be talking about what's important to you. Your goals and my goals are going to be two separate things, right? So my point to you is I want to make sure that you're setting goals that someone else isn't setting for you. If you're an employee at a company, you know what I'm talking about. Your boss or the company or the board of directors sets goals and you have to hit those goals. I'm talking about a goal for you. Like, what do you really want to do? The next one is for staying true to that goal. So once you've actually set that personal goal, you need to make sure that you are the one that's owning those results, and you're the one that's responsible for that. Next, the goals have to be time sensitive. So it's one thing to say, I want to retire someday, right? Well, why not now? Like, why not 5 years from now? So for me, I've set that goal of 3 years. I want to have enough income coming in off of all my businesses that it will take care of all my personal finances. So to me, that's considered retirement. Your definition of retirement can be something else. Now, am I going to stop working? Heck no. I love to work. I love to create things. I love to manage companies. I love to create new ideas. I love to own rental properties. So I'm not going to stop. Just because I'm officially maybe retired from one thing, having to earn money every month to pay for bills, that doesn't mean that I stop working. Personally, my goal is to live to 120 years old. I want to die in my sleep at 120, and I want to have started like 50 businesses. You know, whatever. It's going to be fun, but have a very time-specific goal in mind. The next one is you need to make sure that these are on your timetable. So you may say, hey, Derek, this year I don't have time to start the real estate business. Someday I'll start it. I want to challenge you. Can you do this year? Is this something that you can actually start? I mean, I believe you can. I believe that you can start small. I started part-time in real estate. In 2004, I had a full-time job. I actually loved the people I worked with. They were great managers, great people. And I helped my wife kind of get the real estate business started on the side as a side hustle. Within 6 months, I was earning more money than I was at my corporate job. And I thought, man, I get a lot more freedom, flexibility, time, business building, and I can work on the hours I want. So therefore, I made a career change and went to full-time real estate. So why should you set big goals? Number one, inspiration. There's a few successful entrepreneurs and leaders in the world that didn't have a big goal and just ended up successful. And out of the other billion of them that actually were successful, I'd say they had big goals. So my point is, if you set big goals, then you can inspire others around you, and then they can help you achieve those big goals. Now, accountability. Accountability is huge. If you don't have an accountability partner in your office, your team, at home, I would recommend it not being your spouse, though, because spouses, unfortunately, don't make the best accountability partners when it comes to business, because you want to let each other off the hook a lot, and I would personally recommend against that. Now, focus is huge. Let's talk about focus. Right now, I'm focusing on you. You and I are having this conversation. I'm hoping that you don't have your cell phone out, or if you do, you're watching this on it. Focus is huge. And you know, we're in a really busy real estate office. You can probably hear it in the background. I didn't mute that on purpose. I want you guys to hear. If I turn this camera now, there's people coming and going, having meetings. This is a busy real estate office. How are you going to retain focus when that happens? Well, guess what? I have notes. Yes, I have notes. And I have the time dedicated to you right now. So you have to focus on the goals at hand, and you have to make sure that every day you're actually focusing on those goals. The next thing is talent. Are you building a talent pool around you? What do I mean by that? Well, all the organizations that I started and I founded, I've been part of, you had to start by building talent before you need the talent. So some people basically say, you know, Derek, I'll find the right person when the time comes. The problem is the time comes and you don't have the right people, and therefore your growth gets stalled. I can tell you right now that before you start making the big money, before you start hitting those big goals, you need to have people in place in your life right now that down the road you can say, now we're ready. But you have to start building relationships. So that means taking people out to lunch, going out for breakfast, having coffee, tea, doing masterminding sessions, brainstorming sessions. Maybe your style is over a glass of wine or a beer. It doesn't matter to me. Start building those relationships now, for when you are ready to start building this real estate thing, you've got people in place in your life. You might need a transaction coordinator. You might need a listing manager, buyer's agent. You might need a sign runner. You're going to find people in your life that want to be part of your group because A, you know what your big why is, because that was the first class, right? You're already there. Number two, you have defined your goals, which we're doing now, and then next you're going to start implementing those things. So it's only natural that people are going to want to follow you and be part of your organization and partner with you. So let's talk about measured success. This is why you need a big goal. You want to measure your success. So if you're not measuring things, you're not going to get anywhere. Get out. So I love this one. I wrote myself a note to remind myself. You got to get out of your box. Like, get out of your traditional thinking. Find mentors, leaders, and people that inspire you, and go to conferences. Go to other cities. See how people are doing things. But get out of your comfort zone and get out of your local area. Next thing you need to do is chunk down your goals. So you need to have a someday goal. Like, someday I would like to retire. Then you got to say, okay, I'm going to chunk that down into 5 years. Okay, how do I do that if I was going to accomplish it in 5 years? Then you're going to say, okay, if I'm going to accomplish this goal of all my income equaling my personal expenses every month. What does that mean? Well, guess what? I have to then chunk that down again into a 1-year goal. Okay, what do I need to do in this year to be on track for the next 5 years? And Gary Keller talks about this in this book called The One Thing. If you haven't read it, I'd highly recommend that. The next thing you need to do is chunk it down from 1 year to quarterly to monthly to weekly to daily to hourly. Am I on track this hour to achieve my goals for this day, to achieve my goal for this week, that would achieve my goal for this month, to this quarter, this year? It's pretty simple, but a lot of people just don't do it. And I want you to own it. Make sure that you personally are the one that's responsible. Get that accountability partner, and then be patient for the process. You don't have to do everything overnight. All right, so now I'm going to give you an example of big goals. Okay, so here's my example of one of mine. My real estate business goal is to build the Thai Group to sell $50 million per year without me in production, so that I can lead, teach, and train other people outside of my own market center. So what I mean by that is, if I can achieve that goal, that allows me to go out and do other things. What's yours? I mean, just think about it. Write it down right now. Now, what are some next steps that will help you to achieve your big goals and set big goals? Number one, I want you to review your big why and your mission statement you came up with already in the previous classes. I want you to pull goals out of that big why. And then I want you to answer a question. So just go ahead and get down a pen and paper and write these down. First question is, what is my goal with my spiritual life? Go ahead and write that down. Pause this if you need to. The next one is, what is the goal I have with my family? The next one, what is my goal with my friends? I want you to think about that. Next, what is my goal with my own health? Do I want to take control of my health? What am I going to do about it? The next one is, what is my goal with my personal finances? Where do I want to be someday? Where do I want to be in 5 years? Where do I want to be in a year? And am I on track? So once you've come up with these 5 goal areas, I want you to come up with specific strategies to actually implement those. So it's one thing to say, I want to lose 50 pounds in a year. Awesome. So what is my strategy every day to get me toward that goal? So it might be, I want to eat a ketogenic diet. I want to exercise 3 days a week. I want to meditate. I want to get in an infrared sauna. I want to find a person to run with or walk with every day. I want to pick up a new hobby. I want to start playing volleyball, whatever it is. Come up with something. That's a strategy on your goal. Last, I want to leave you with this. The real estate business, sorry to tell you this, it's a hard business. I mean, it's dog eat dog. There's like 1.3 million real estate agents out there. So why would I spend so much time talking about all this stuff, and we haven't even talked about how to list a home or how to buy a home yet? I need you to get your mindset right, and we're going to talk about that in a future episode here. But you've got to think about these things ahead of time, or else you're never going to get down to the nitty-gritty of actually, building a real estate empire. So remember, real estate's hard. Find people around you that can help you, support you, lead you, teach you, mentor you, both in your local market and then outside. Go to some sales conferences, set those big goals, set the strategies, and finally, stay tuned for our next class, because I'm just going to keep dumping all this great real estate information on you, and I hope that you find it helpful.